First, we're going to introduce Rachel Zayden, who is with the Office of County Supervisor Sheila Kuehl.
On behalf of LA County Supervisor Sheila Kuehl, welcome and thank you all for coming to our Get On Board Transportation Workshop. I would like to thank Jewish Family Services and the City of West Hollywood for being such wonderful collaborators and partners on this great event. And I especially want to thank Sheila Moore and Perry Sloan Goodman for all of their hard work in coordinating this forum. A successful mobility and transportation system is essential to society, and I think we can all agree that Los Angeles County has a complex system that is constantly expanding and growing. And the recent passage of Measure M means there will be even more expansion and options available for riders. While there are many different ways that people can get around without a car, it can often be hard and confusing to navigate. Through our presentations and workshop today, we hope you will learn about a wide range of options available and to connect the dots and feel more comfortable using the system. Thank you all again, and I'd like to now introduce Sheila Moore. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel, and good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Moore, and I'm representing Jewish Family Service Los Angeles this morning. It is great to join you here today for such an important workshop on really critical information for all of us, no matter what our age or what our ability. I would also like to lend my voice with gratitude to both Rachel from Supervisor Kuehl's office and to Perry, who really had the yeoman's job of coordinating our wonderful panelists who are going to share some really important information this morning. When I think about transportation, I think about the importance of connection. No matter how old we are, it's the connections that we have in life that make life substantive and important. Whether it's connections to community and resources, whether it's community to family and friends and community services, or just being able to go from point A to point B. So we're hoping this morning will really be an opportunity for you to see what's available to keep connected, to stay active, and to be a vital part of our community. So with that, I thank you, and we'll begin the panel.
Thank you, Sheila and Rachel, for your warm welcome. And I want to mention a few things about today. The purpose of this workshop is really to get people comfortable with the idea of having a variety of transit options. And I think one of the benefits of living in an urban area is that there are ways to get around that don't necessarily require a car, and that you can use those options to use your to access everything that you need in our community. And West Hollywood is particularly rich in that respect. We have a very wide range of options available to our community members. So the part of today is also going to include a hands-on portion. So after the speakers are finished, we'll have the opportunity for people to do some one-on-one instruction in the back, and we'll show you how to use some of the things that you hear about today. So, as I mentioned, the City of West Hollywood has a very, very wide range of options available for its residents, probably more than many other communities. And the city spends several $1 million a year to make those options available to its residents. As you can see, this is kind of a continuum, and what we have tried to do is create a coordinated system that lets people access transportation regardless of their ability. So we have options available for the people who are most independent and the people who are the least independent. I'm gonna talk a little more about each of those options right now in more detail, but this is just to show you that you can, wherever you are, you can access those different options. So the city offers a subsidy, a very generous subsidy to people who use the Metro system. And this is, if you have a TAP card, you can get that through Metro. Normally, for most riders, it's over $100 a month for a 30-day pass. For seniors through Metro, it's $20. But if you live in the city of West Hollywood, you can come to City Hall and sign up for our subsidy program, and it costs $8 a month for a 30-day unlimited Metro bus pass. And as a Metro rider myself, I will tell you that it is a good way to get around once you get the hang of it. We also have our CityLine, which is our little local shuttle that goes all around town. It's free, it comes every half hour, and it stops in all of the neighborhoods. So for people who want to get on a little bus and not be on the big bus and not have to walk all the way up to Santa Monica Boulevard, they probably have a stop very close to home. It will take you to the supermarket, it will take you to the parks, to the library. It goes just about anywhere, and it's every half hour, and it's free. Oh, one other thing about all of our transit services. So I'm going to just talk about these services in two categories. One is called fixed route, and those are like buses that come on a schedule, and the other is the direct, which will pick you up in front of your home or wherever you are. So all of our fixed route services are on NextBus, and Francisco's going to talk a little bit more about that later, but basically that gives you the ability to know exactly when your bus will be arriving, and that, for people who ride the bus, you know that that is a big, big game changer. If you aren't standing out there thinking, where's my bus, where's my bus, you can look on, if you have a smartphone, or you can text, or you can call in, and that you will be told exactly when your bus is going to arrive. So in the one-on-one after the presentations, we will talk a little more in detail about how to use that option. CityLine X is our newest route, and that goes all the way up to Hollywood and Highland. So for people that want to use the subway to go downtown or out to the valley, that is now available. It's also free of charge, and it's during rush hour, about every 15 to 20 minutes. The city offers a very generous taxi subsidy. People who participate in that program can pay $8 a month. They get a plastic card, kind of like a gift card, that will have, for $8, they get $50 worth of taxi fare, and you can use that with any of the taxis that operate in the city of West Hollywood. Or you can pay $16 and get $100 worth of taxi fare. So it's a very, very deeply discounted program, and a lot of people really enjoy using that. And that is available 24/7 whenever taxi service is offered. Next on the Continuum is our dial-a-ride service. That is also free of charge, and that is available Mondays through Fridays. A lot of people like using that to go to doctor's appointments. It'll take you anywhere around the city, but it'll also take you to different medical facilities in the area, such as Kaiser up on Sunset Boulevard, and also Kaiser on La Cienega, UCLA Medical Center. So that's a really great option for people. It is by advance appointment. You need to show proof of West Hollywood residency, and you have to call in advance to request a pickup. But it will pick you up in front of your home and take you where you need to go. And the most assistance is available through our TLC program. The TLC is like Dial-A-Ride, but instead of picking you up at the curb in front of your home, you are picked up at your door. So if you have a mobility device such as a cane or a walker, and you need a little help getting through the door, or you need a little help coming down the stairs, if you have a package that you need to carry, that's what TLC is there for. And they have an additional person in the vehicle that will help you get to the vehicle and from the vehicle to your appointment. And last but not least, our world-famous pickup, which is our big yellow trolley that runs on Friday and Saturday nights and on Sunday afternoons. And if you live in West Hollywood, you have probably seen that trolley up on the road because it's hard to miss. And that is also free, and a lot of people enjoy using that to go out to dinner on a Saturday night. It starts at 8 p.m. and it runs until 3 a.m. It also runs on Sunday afternoons, and it comes about every 15 minutes. If anybody out there is a biker, or maybe is thinking about getting back on a bicycle after a long time, we have just rolled out our bike share. You've probably seen our bright green bikes parked right out in front of on San Vicente Boulevard. They're all over town. I've used it myself. It's a lot of fun. They're relatively easy bikes to ride. They have nice big wheels and comfortable seats. And it's a good way to just get right around all that traffic and take a shortcut. You can sign up. We're going to have a representative from the bike share program here a little bit later to help people sign up if they're interested. So these are a bunch of different websites where you can get more information. We have copies of this handout available in the lobby, and after the event is over, you can pick up that if you need more information. There's also a couple phone numbers there. And now we're going to go over to Myra, who's going to talk a little bit about access services.
Good morning. My name is Myra Calderon. I'm with Access Services.
Introduce the mayor. I just realized that our mayor is in the room, so if you'll excuse me for just a minute, Myra, I want to make sure that she has an opportunity to greet our visitors.
I'm so sorry I was late, and thank you so much for that great presentation, Perry. I want to thank everyone for coming today, and also people watching at home. I think it's really important that we know what our options are, and the City of West Hollywood does provide a lot of transportation options, so thank you so much for putting this on. Thanks for being here.
Okay, that was Mayor Lauren Meister. Thank you for coming today.
Okay.
Back to Myra.
Thank you. So again, my name is Myra Calderon. I work in the Mobility Management Program at Access Services. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about what Access is and more information about how to qualify. So Access is an ADA-compliant paratransit service. We provide curb-to-curb services for people with disabilities who cannot use public transportation. We are a complementary service to public transportation, meaning that our travel times will run comparative to the public fixed route. So if it would normally take you half an hour on public transportation to get you to your destination, Access has that same amount of time. Our service area runs with public transportation up to 3/4 of a mile radius of wherever a bus or train travels. In addition, our hours of operations run the same times as the bus. So as long as there's a bus or a train running, we're allowed to provide transportation during that time as well. We are a share ride service, so similar to Dial-A-Ride, we will be picking people up and dropping people off while we get you to your destination. In order to qualify for Access, we do require an in-person evaluation. Our in-person evaluation will test you on your ability to use public transportation. This is more or less what our facility looks like. We do provide transportation to and from our facility free of charge for those who are interested in applying. Eligibility is not solely based on age, disability, or income. It's a functional decision based on whether or not you can physically or safely travel on public transportation. Once you are eligible for Access LA County, you can also use our eligibility in other counties for up to 21 days as a visitor. This would allow you to use transportation in Orange County, Riverside, Ventura, up to 21 days, similar as you would to Access. We ourselves cannot provide transportation directly into another county. However, we can take you to what we call the border between counties, where the next county will pick you up and continue your trips. This also applies to states. So a lot of people are not familiar that if you already qualify for ADA eligibility with one county, you can also use that eligibility in a different state. So if you travel to Nevada, Arizona, every state has their own paratransit services. You would just let us know. We'll transfer your eligibility to that state, and you can continue to use the services similar to what you use here in LA County. And in addition, if you do travel to a different county often, to bypass the 21-day restriction in a calendar year, you could also apply for a different county because eligibility is not based on your residency. you can apply and lift that 21-day restriction and not have to worry about whether or not your eligibility will still be valid. Our fares are $2.75 for the first 19.9 miles and an additional 75 cents for anything over 20 miles when you're traveling within LA County. There are a couple ways to pay for transportation. One of them is cash. You can pay cash directly to the driver when he picks you up. We also have coupons that sometimes people are not able to physically carry cash. You can buy coupons ahead of time and just pay with those as you go. Our Access card has a Visa logo where you can add funds to your card and just pay with it. It has since been updated to no longer have the Visa logo, but if customers still have the Visa logo, you can add the funds and use your card as you go. In addition, you can also use bus tokens. You would have to pay the difference of the fare, but if you have tokens, if you receive tokens, you can still pay with that and just pay the difference of the $2.75. Again, I work in the mobility management program. What we do is we provide transportation options to riders and non-riders alike. Access likes to make sure that our riders and non-riders alike are aware of other options that maybe be just as suitable to them as having eligibility with Access. We do primarily refer to three major alternative services. One, which is the dial-a-ride. The second is Metro Tap, and the third is non-emergency transportation services, and I'll explain a little more. So every city has a dial-a-ride. As Perry mentioned, West Hollywood has their own. Every city has their own transportation services, which is similar to Access. The difference between the local dial-a-ride and Access is that the local dial-a-ride, you would qualify simply by being a resident, meeting the age requirement as a senior, or having a disability. As mentioned before, our eligibility is not solely based on age, disability, or income. So therefore, sometimes you will not qualify for our service. However, there are local services that might be just as suitable. In addition, as an Access customer, sometimes it's less expensive to use the local dial-a-ride in your area than to use Access and pay full fare. Some services, such as West Hollywood, have free travel services. As opposed to paying the $2.75 to get to your market, sometimes it's best to just use the local service and ride for free. That's what our program intends on doing, just notifying and advising, educating customers on the options locally that might be just as suited for them. You can visit our website at accessla.org. We do have a local transit directory where you can select your city, and it'll list various informations regarding local dial-a-rides, their fares, and even their phone numbers so that you can contact them directly to begin registration. For customers that are not qualified with Access, we do refer to Metro Tap. Many people are not aware that they might qualify for discounts that they just have not taken advantage of. Seniors 62 and older would qualify for a discount on a monthly basis simply for being either 62 and older. People with disabilities would also qualify for discounts. The difference between the Metro Senior and Disabled card is the application process. Seniors would just have to prove that they're 62 and older. On the other hand, people with disabilities would have to have a medical certification indicating that they do have a disability. Normally, the bus passes can range anywhere between $100 to $110 a month. These passes can be reduced to as low as $20 a month. And as Perry mentioned, there are cities that offer additional discounts and subsidies. Our mobility management program can help you find those subsidies if your city offers them. Finally, non-emergency transportation services. A lot of people haven't tapped into what their medical insurance can and cannot cover. Sometimes Medi-Cal or Medicare will cover transportation services. We do have various listings of non-emergency services that do provide transportation to people whose insurance does cover this transportation. Non-emergency services are similar to ambulances, except that they have medical professionals providing transportation for non-emergency purposes. This can be for chemotherapy, this can be for dialysis, and a lot of people have not been aware that maybe their insurance covers it. Another difference between this and Access is that non-emergency services do have a cap on how many trips per year that they would provide, but sometimes these trips are better than having Access pick you up and an alternative. As an Access customer, you can apply for local dial-a-ride, Metro, TAP if you choose to, and non-emergency services, and it will not affect your eligibility with us. It just gives you alternative transportation options if you so choose to do so. And I believe that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope that that was informative, and there's a lot of material available in the back afterwards if you have additional, if you'd like to get more information about Access. So I'm now very happy to introduce Lily Ortiz, who is with Metro. So now you'll get to hear a little more detail about that.
Good morning. My name's Lily Ortiz and I work for LA Metro. I manage their senior travel training program called On the Move Riders Club. It's basically a peer-on-peer training program. It allows folks to come together and, for those who aren't familiar, to get some help. We use volunteers to lead these clubs. Currently, there are 28 clubs around the county, and they're led by our volunteers. Our volunteers receive training with me and plan lots of fun outings, and they're learning as they go. So we are always looking for folks who would like to start a club in their community or are interested in participating in an existing community. So, as I mentioned, our clubs are designed to encourage folks to learn how to use the buses and the trains, gets people connected with new friends. It's always nice to see the clubs really grow into these little families almost, because they really do come together, look out for one another, and travel together. And basically learning from each other. And the whole goal is to encourage people to maintain that independence by using public transportation, so that when someone doesn't want to drive or can't drive any longer, they still have the option of using public transportation. And I think that here, especially in West Hollywood, you all are very well connected, not only with your local bus service here, but as well as through Metro. So I think it's a great opportunity for folks to get out, stay active, and get connected. So I wanted to talk a little bit about general information about Metro. We're basically an agency that provides bus and rail service throughout LA County. We operate 7 days a week, typically 4 a.m. to 12 a.m. On Fridays and Saturdays, you'll find service extending up until 2 a.m. I always encourage people to call us and plan your trip, because there's nothing worse than worrying about, oh God, is that train gonna be there when I get out of the show? Am I gonna be able to get home? Will the bus get me home? So super, super important that you access the information that we can provide, and you can do that by calling 323-GO-METRO. You'll actually get to speak to a person, which is very rare. Tell them where you're starting, where you want to go, and then they can give you a detailed itinerary. If you wanted to check out, a possible destination, you could also do that online by visiting our website, metro.net, or google.com/transit. Both of these websites will allow you to tailor your travels So again, typing in your starting point and your destination, the date and time that you'd like to travel, and getting out and riding. The really neat thing about going online is that you can tailor your trip to, if you wanted to limit the amount of walking that you wanted to do, you could say, I don't want to walk more than a quarter of a mile. And then the system would then tailor your trip to that. It might take a little longer, it might take an additional transfer, but it's definitely possible. If you are riding on Metro, for folks 62 and over, the base fare, or during peak hours, our fare is 75 cents. During off-peak hours, it's 35 cents. And off-peak is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and then 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., Monday through Friday. All day Saturday, all day Sunday, you pay 35 cents, and also on holidays, 35 cents. So it's a pretty good deal. And no matter what time of day you're traveling, if you're traveling metro, bus, or train, we offer free 2-hour transfers. So if you boarded a bus out here on Melrose, you could take that down to a rail station and jump on a train, and then jump on another train, and you could do it all for one fare, provided you're traveling on Metro and you're making those transfers within that 2-hour period. So it's pretty good deal. You could go from one end of the county to the other end of the county during off-peak hours for 35 cents. So it's a good way to get out and see the sights. We do also offer a day pass for $2.50. But I always tell folks, it doesn't really make sense to buy a day pass for $2.50 if I can ride during that 2-hour period and do as many transfers as I want and pay only 35 cents to go and 35 cents to come back. A day pass might make sense if I'm riding on express buses that cost a little more. Or maybe I'm riding later on during maybe peak hours where I might catch, several buses and it might cost me a little more. But really, I encourage folks to just, travel one way, 35 cents back. We also have monthly passes, which are $20. I wanted to talk a little bit in depth about the TAP card. In order for folks 62 and over to apply for this TAP card, they basically must complete an application. It requires a photo. It could be a passport type photo. It could be an existing photo that you already have, and then proof of your age. You can send all those documents via mail, or you could come down to one of our customer centers and turn in your stuff there. If you came down to one of our customer centers, you would be issued a temporary TAP card that you could use immediately, and then within 4 to 6 weeks, you'd receive your permanent card in the mail. Basically, what a TAP card is, it's a reloadable, reusable card. You can load funds or passes onto your card, and then each time you board, instead of putting change into a fare box, you take your card and you tap on the tap target, and the money is deducted from your card, or the machine reads that you have some sort of pass, whether it be a day pass or a monthly pass. The funds that you load, well, let me see. Let's talk about how do you load it, because a lot of folks say, okay, now I've got my card, now what? Several different ways to load your card. You can call 1-866-TAP-TO-GO and give them a credit card, ask them to load funds onto your card. If you wanted to go to a window or a retailer, you could also call that same number and give them your zip code, and they'd find the local retailer near you. And I think Perry has some info
Well,
on
I
that.
just wanted to underscore the fact that we do offer that service at West Hollywood City Hall. So for people who have the orange senior disabled TAP card, we're there during normal business hours. If you want to sign up for your monthly pass, you can do it that way. And you can also, some people come in and just do their stored value as well.
Very
We also
good.
provide assistance with applying for that orange card, and we have applications with us here today as well.
Oh, do you take pictures? Ooh, very nice.
Or if you're a West Hollywood resident.
Okay, that's a very nice service, because it can be somewhat cumbersome for people to go and get a photo, mail off their application, but if you can do it all here in West Hollywood, that's a great thing. If you were at one of our rail stations, you'd find tap vending machines at all the stations. You could use those vending machines to load funds onto your card. You could also go online to tap2go.net and load your card that way. So several different ways. One thing I want to make clear, because I think this is very confusing for a lot of folks, there's different things that you can load onto your tap card. The first of which is called stored value. Stored value is best for folks who don't ride very often. Maybe, 2 or 3 times a week, where it doesn't really require them to purchase a 30-day pass. So stored value can be a small cash purse of money, $5, $10. Those funds remain there until you have exhausted that money. It doesn't expire. So at 35 cents a pop, $5 will last you quite a bit. So I encourage folks who don't ride very often to load stored value. However, for those who do ride regularly, purchasing products, we call them, it could be a Metro product or a Big Blue Bus product. Every agency has their own type of product. With Metro, you could buy a 30-day pass, you could buy a day pass, or you could load a single fare. All of those are Metro products. The bad thing about those is that you can only use them on Metro. So if I have a Metro 30-day pass, only riding on Metro. However, if you have stored value, that little cash purse of money that I mentioned earlier, you can use it on 24 different agencies all over the county that provide transportation. Do you have a tap? Are you tap enabled? Really? Wow. Wonderful. So you could ride on the buses here.
You mean, no, ours are free, though I thought you meant
yours
me
are free.
personally. I do
Oh,
have a
no,
tap
no.
card. But the West Hollywood CityLine is free, so
Okay.
we don't
Oh,
collect
even
any fare,
better.
and so we don't need to.
No, very good. But you could take the free West Hollywood bus and connect to any other agency that serves LA County. So it's pretty neat. That's only for stored values. So just keep that in mind. I think it does cause some confusion. Again, my name's Lily Ortiz. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. If you'd like to follow our clubs, we are on Facebook, so like us and check out the cool destinations that we're traveling to. Thank you very much.
Okay, now Francisco Gomez, who's also with the city, is going to talk to us a little more about some of the really great tools that have evolved that really make using transit so much easier.
Good morning, as Perry said, my name is Francisco Gomez, and just waiting for the laptop, so I should get that in any minute now, and then I'll start my presentation.
Yeah. Oh, here you go, Francisco.
Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, so I'll be talking about a few tools that could help make using transit a whole lot easier. And some of those tools were mentioned by Lily in her presentation, so I'll just go over those in a little more detail here. So you can, the transit planning tools can be grouped into 2 different categories. One are those who help plan trips, and the other category of tools are those that help you see when a vehicle is about to arrive. So I'll go over, there are 2 transit planning tools that I like to use. One is offered by Metro, and the other is offered by Google. So I'll quickly go over the Metro Trip Planner, just to give you guys a sense of how it is used.
This is great, Francisco.
Thanks, no problem.
Not because it's Metro, but because you're doing the demo. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Will it not work?
So I'm wondering, maybe there is someone in the audience who has a place that they would like to go that Francisco could demonstrate once we get live here, how to get there. We are going to have time for question and answer at the end of the presentation, so, but we're just kind of waiting to get our internet connection here. But is there someplace that anybody here would think that they would like to try and use public transit to get to? Esther, is your hand up? So I'm gonna interrupt you for a second. We're gonna have questions and answers at the end of the presentation, and I'll bring a microphone out so everyone can hear the question. Right now, we're talking specifically about planning trips and getting directions on Google or on the Metro Trip Planner. So is there, do either of you, Michael, do you have a specific location that you would like to?
Okay, sure. So let's say that you live on Cynthia Avenue, and you want to get to the housing authority comes from Los Angeles and
Okay, that sounds like a good one. Are we live yet?
Trying to get the connection going, so it might take a few more minutes. Sorry about that.
How many of you in the audience have a computer and are online? How many of you have a smartphone or a tablet or an iPad that you use regularly? Oh, good. Okay. Awesome. So that was something that I didn't talk about. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it because Francisco's probably going to talk about it. But lots of great free apps on your phone.
I will also add, for those individuals who do not have any of those devices or don't have mobile data, NextBus you can also do by phone. So if you have a telephone, there's a number that you can call and you can say, I want to go from here to here. And I believe the same is true for the trip planner. If you call Go Metro and tell them where you want to go, they'll help walk you through that process. Now, when we're done with the presentation in here, we're also going to be available in the back to help you with specific trip planning, and we can give you some demonstrations of places that you'd like to go, and we can email you those directions or a link to those directions so that you can have that at your fingertips.
Okay, so we're live. Sorry about that.
Hi.
So let me go ahead. This is Metro's Trip Planner. So to access it, you simply go to metro.net, which is the Metro website. On the website, on the right side of the page, you'll see the Trip Planner. And it's really easy to use. You simply start off by entering your origin or where you're starting from. So say we're starting from here. We'll type in the address for this location.
Michael wanted to get directions to the Housing Authority in Alhambra. You want to try that from Cynthia and Doheny?
Sure. And I've got the address for the Housing Authority since I'm not sure.
Do we have like a nearest intersection? 600 Main Street.
Let's try it.
You can actually enter in intersections as well.
Yeah, if you do San Vicente and Santa Monica or
Right.
Sunset and Fairfax, it'll come up that way too.
No, I don't think so. It depends, I think, if it's in the system, because sometimes I have put in a destination like the Music Center, and it will give me an option.
I know, like, if you put in West Hollywood City Hall, it'll come up.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the destination. Exactly.
Alrighty, in the trip planner, so it'll give you, once you enter your origin destination information, you could also customize the trip plan by entering the day you plan to leave and the time you're looking at leaving or arriving at. So you can do leave on Wednesday at 10:11 or arrive on Wednesday at the time you're looking to get to your destination. And then it'll just ask you to confirm your starting location and ending location. It didn't recognize the address.
It's actually 700 West Main Street, sorry.
Okay,
West, 700 West Main Street.
got it. Okay, let me go ahead and change that real quick. You said 700 West Main Street? Okay, well, it didn't recognize that address. But we can go over that one when we meet after, if you like, Michael. But I'll go over,
I know you can get there on Metro because I live in Alhambra near Main Street, so I know it's possible. Yeah. Okay. At this point, if this were me, I'd call and say, hey, this darn website is not telling me what I need to know. What is going on?
And I've actually used it, I mean, it's very odd because I've actually used this in order to
alrighty, just to keep it simple, I'm just going to do Union Station. So starting off at Santa Monica, San Vicente to Union Station. Once you confirm your origin and destination, you simply click continue, and it'll give you several options on how to get there using Metro. So you can see there's several that came up. The only difference between the first and the second is, I think, the departure time. So then that is it. So then it just tells you where to board, and it tells you where to board, so board on Santa Monica, San Vicente, and where to exit. So you just exit at Pet Service Plaza. And this is the Metro Trip Planner. So just to recap, to use this, you go to metro.net, enter your trip origin and trip destination. You can customize your trip plan by date and time of either departure or arrival. Once you confirm that the information you entered was processed correctly by the trip planner, you click continue, and it'll give you several route options on how to get there. The alternative to Metro's trip planner is Google Transit. And let me close this real quick.
I wonder if Google will give you directions to the previous address in
Right.
Alhambra.
Personally, I prefer using Google Transit.
Me too.
Let's see if it'll open.
Don't tell anybody
One
that.
thing, maybe while we're waiting, I'll mention about using both of these apps, but particularly Google, is that you won't always get the same directions. It really depends on the day and the time that you're traveling, because Google takes, and I think Metro also takes into account your connections and will tell you the best way to go. And you know, if you're traveling at 10 o'clock on Wednesday versus 7 o'clock on Friday, you may not get the same directions. It'll tell you the best way for that particular time to go. So it's always good, even if you took the number 10 bus the last time you went, if you're traveling at a different time, it's always good to check it again, because it'll always give you the best route for that particular day and time.
Alrighty, so to access Google Transit, you simply go to google.com/transit. And like Metro's Trip Planner, when using Google Transit, you simply enter your starting location and the destination you're looking to get to. So we'll do this address. And let's try 700 West Main Street.
Ta-da!
So here we go. So these are the options that Google recommends for us. So there are several. It tells you how long the trip is likely to take. It'll tell you about how much walking time it is you will have to go through. So for this particular trip, it will take about 1 hour and 48 minutes to get from here to 700 West Main Street in Alhambra. For this trip, you'll probably walk around 9 minutes. And let's see. Once you click on the trip you think is best for you, it'll give you a more detailed description of that trip. So if you scroll down, it'll say we'll walk from here to Santa Monica, San Vicente. From there, we'll board the 704 bus going towards Union Station. We'll get off that bus at Cesar E. Chavez and Spring Street. From there, we'll walk about 3 minutes and walk over to Cesar Chavez and Alameda Street. From there, we'll transfer to Metro Local Route 78 going towards Alhambra. And we'll ride that bus for about 35 minutes and exit at Atlantic and Main Street. Once we exit there, we walk about 1 minute to our destination at 700 West Main Street. So as you can see, it's a very easy to use tool. You simply enter your starting and ending locations, and Google will then take that information and give you several route options that could work for you. You can customize those by, like with Metro's Trip Planner, you can customize those by when you are looking to leave or get there. And to do that, you simply, in the Trip Planner, you'll see a little box that, or a scroll down menu that lets you customize that. So you can do leave now, and that's if you want to leave at this very moment. Depart at, so if you're looking to leave, say, tomorrow, Thursday at noon, you can just customize that way. And then it'll give you transit options for tomorrow at noon that could work for you. So
Francisco,
yes.
what if I don't want to walk up the hill to Santa Monica Boulevard from here?
Then you might be able to also customize by, so you can go to options and then you can choose the best route, which is the one route that's probably the fastest. The route that gives you, where you don't have to do as many bus transfers, or the route that gives you, or the route with less walking. So you just select the option that is best for you. So if you want the route with less walking, you simply select less walking. And then it'll give you route options that limit the amount of walking that's required. So that is Google and Metro's Trip Planner. So I'll continue with another really cool tool for transit users is NextBus. And what NextBus is it gives you real-time arrival predictions for bus routes that are near you. So there are several ways to access NextBus. You can access it through your web-enabled smartphone, through your computer, or using a landline phone or your cell phone. So to access NextBus using a smartphone, you simply go to nextbus.com. NextBus will then use your phone's GPS system and locate bus stops that are around you, and then tell you what routes service those stops and when the bus is likely to arrive at that location. So I did this yesterday at my desk at City Hall at around 5:30, and it told me that the bus stops near me were for Metro Route 4 at Santa Monica and Sweetser, and then it gives me the predictions for both eastbound and westbound travel. So at 5:42 p.m., the eastbound 4 was arriving at that moment, and the bus arriving after the one that was about to get there would get there in 21 minutes. And for the westbound, you'll see 7 minutes, and then 20 minutes after would be the arrival prediction for that. And Metro routes are on NextBus, and also the city's CityLine, CityLine X, and the pickup are on there. So to access NextBus arrival predictions from your home computer, you simply go to nextbus.com. Once you're on there, you will enter the transit agency information, so you can select either LA Metro or City of West Hollywood. There are other agencies on NextBus also, and then you'll enter the route that you're interested in getting arrival predictions for, the bus stop, and then NextBus will give you the predictions for those stops. And I'll go through this real quick with you guys. So we can select here, let's do CityLine. So we do City of West Hollywood. So CityLine heading east. And let's do the stop at the library. So the next CityLine heading east will arrive at San Vicente and Melrose in 25 minutes. The vehicle following would arrive in 83 minutes, and the one after that in 113 minutes. If you wanted the information for the westbound route, then we would still keep City of West Hollywood, do CityLine westbound, and let's do arriving at the library. So the next CityLine westbound route, the next CityLine westbound vehicle will arrive at the library in about 16 minutes. And you can also access it, as I said, using a regular landline phone. So for CityLine, you would call this number, and we have handouts with this information on there, so you can easily reference the phone numbers there. You simply dial a phone number. When you call, an automated system will ask you what the stop number is for the stop you're interested in getting arrival information for, and then you enter a stop code that is assigned to each stop in our service. I recorded, just so you can have an idea of what it sounds like, the automated system, so I'll play it real fast.
To NextBus, please enter the stop number you would like a real-time arrival prediction for. For CityLine westbound Blue Loop, Cedar Sinai, next vehicle in 10 minutes.
So once you enter the stop code, NextBus will tell you what the stop code, what stop corresponds to that code, and then tell you when the next vehicle will arrive at that stop. And you can get stop, for CityLine we have a brochure, a flyer that has all of our stops and stop codes. And for Metro, you can easily find the stop code by going to metro.net. And that is it for me. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those during the Q&A. So thank you guys.
Okay, we're gonna go to Q&A from the audience now. And I know this woman here has been very patiently waiting. Do you mind coming?
So I have two questions. The first one is, if I'm signed up with Access, do I need the senior tap card also, or is that interchangeable?
So as an Access customers, riders do have the ability to use our card on certain bus lines for free. You don't have to enroll. You're automatically enrolled once you receive eligibility. And the answer to that is no, you do not have to pay.
No, do I need to sign up?
No, you do not need to.
I'm okay.
You do not need to apply for a senior or disabled tap card. Some people have asked whether it's okay if they do anyways. I always say, sure. It's up to you if you want to pay an additional $20 a month for your senior disabled tap card as an Access member. But as an Access member, you are entitled to use certain bus lines for free with your Access eligibility.
Okay, next question. I'm planning to go visit my friend who lives in Eureka, which is in Northern California. I'm going to land at San Francisco Airport. So I called Access to ask them how I would get there from San Francisco Airport. They said they didn't know, and I needed to call a local, try to find a local number up there to ask that question.
So our mobility management program can help you find paratransit services wherever it is that you're traveling.
You're talking about online or on the phone?
Over the phone, you can call customer service and request the phone number to mobility management. Our phone number is 213-270-6066. Counselors like myself are available to answer questions. We call back within three days if we don't answer right away. And we do try to find the best paratransit services locally wherever it is you're traveling, so that when you do call customer service to have your eligibility transferred to that city, county, state, wherever it is that you're going, you're able to tell them, look, I'm going here, this is the phone number, please send my information over there so that I can continue to use paratransit services.
I give them your phone number?
No, you would call us,
Yes.
then we will give you the phone number to the San Francisco paratransit. And then when you call customer service, if for whatever reason they're unable to assist you in providing that information, you would have it on hand so that they can go ahead and send it wherever they need to send it, so that when you get over there, you can continue to use paratransit services through them, through San Francisco paratransit.
Okay. But-
Whatever
So
the
all I need to
paratransit
do
service.
first is call you.
You can call us and we'll try to help you as best we could to get you the information that you need.
Thank you.
Would you repeat that phone number once more for people?
Our phone number for mobility management, which is the Alternative Transit Options program, is 213-270-6066.
Thanks. Do we have any other questions from the audience? Do you mind coming up?
Yes.
Hello, Michael Wojtkiewicz, City of West Hollywood resident. I have a number of questions, but I don't want to eat up too much time. And I want to thank you for this presentation and also for the city, because I've always believed the city has really gone out of its way to make available various forms of transportation, and given when you're only 2 square miles small, it makes it even that much easier. That said, there are some unique situations within the city, but before I touch on those, I just want clarification. When one uses NextTrip, one has to have data connectivity on their smartphone to access it, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so I just want to let especially Metro know that West Hollywood does have a substantial population of low-income people who they may have a smartphone, but they may have very limited data, such as myself. So I use the tag and I text the tag, but the majority of bus stops do not have tag numbers to enter what the intersection is. It would actually be really nice if Metro somehow implements Wi-Fi public at bus stops. So with that, let me present you 2 unique situations and get your advice of what one would take. So going back to the intersection of Cynthia at Doheny, which is kind of midway between Sunset and Santa Monica Boulevard. Say if you're a wheelchair-bound person, mechanical wheelchair, you're trying to get to City Hall. You have a car. The car is relatively new. It is adapted to accept your wheelchair, but as we have learned in the past 2 months, there are certain vehicles that the parking garage, $15 million, does not accept. One of them is yours. So what would one do if they don't want to have to park 2 blocks away at the Kings Road? What would be the preferred or the suggested access? Whether it's Metro, whether it's Dollar Ride, you're not going to take a taxi because a taxi can't fit a mechanical wheelchair, a motorized wheelchair.
So actually, the CityLine has a stop at Cynthia and San Vicente, and also at San Vicente and Sunset. So those would probably be the closest stops to Cynthia and Doheny. And the CityLine goes directly to City Hall and is ADA accessible.
So one would have to motorize up Doheny to get to Sunset, or come clear over to San Vicente at Cynthia. And fortunately, we live in a climate that, you know, we don't see too much rain. So, all right, another unique situation. You live on a major transportation corridor on the east side. You're elderly. You have a support animal. The support animal is not actually registered, so it doesn't have a dog license. But even if it did, if you wanted to take your dog to a rare amenity, which is a dog park, it's Hart Park, one would have to, and I've played the scenario out before, one would have to take 3 connections on a metro bus, down Santa Monica, up Fairfax, over Sunset, and then that puts you atop Sunset, where the dog field is a number of a flight of steps below. As we know, Hart Park is not accessible for a physically disabled person if they get off the bus on Sunset, or if they're dropped off at DeLong Prairie because there's a non-compliant ramp. What is the suggested vehicle that actually would drive up into the parking lot to drop you off there?
I think access or dial-a-ride.
Okay, but access requires one to actually go through.
We cannot make illegal turns. We cannot go into certain parking lots that require U-turns.
Right.
That can be unsafe.
Right. And that's exactly what that situation is. But access actually requires a person to go through an evaluation. Wouldn't a taxi be better? And is the taxi program open to anyone for that additional cost?
To participate in the taxi subsidy, you have to be over 62
Right. Say if somebody
or
is
disabled.
utilizing the $8 a month tap card, but again, the bus only gets them so far. If they pay another $8, are they able to get into the taxi program as well? Yes?
I think it would be up to the individual driver, though, whether they would accept an animal. A
An
service
animal, okay.
Not sure what the
So
taxi
again, these are
policies
just
are.
unique situations, and I will tell you that it has come up as a deterrence for some people not to utilize some of the amenities that we have, such as, you know, one and one only dog park. So one last thing. With regards to security on Metro and Metro Rail, you have your own officers, correct? Okay, so if there is a situation as you're riding the 704 through West Hollywood and somebody is assaulting you, the driver has to call Metro Security. You cannot get LA sheriffs, county sheriffs to address it at the time that it's essentially happening.
That's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just a clarification, because I've been told different things.
Yeah, I think that you can access 911 at any time, wherever you are,
Okay.
and you don't have to wait. I would recommend that you communicate with the driver if something is happening, and, you know, do what you have to do to make sure that you're safe.
Right.
But yeah, definitely accessing 911 immediately, yes.
Okay, all right. And I think maybe the last point that I want to make is the other day there was a joint meeting between Public Safety and Human Services, and the situation of the library that is right above us came up, where it's a county facility and it's open to everyone. And open means they can use it for what they want, whether it's daycare, shelter, hostel. We have a number of bus stops, bus shelters, which are used by people who are not transit riders. And I often see elderly people standing. There are certain times in the city, like midday, where even if you're on Santa Monica, the bus it's 30 minutes between one that you just missed to the next time one comes up. And these people are just standing there with their walkers and there's no place to sit, or they're actually somewhat afraid of what the situation is. And there's also various types of smoke, whether it's cigarette or marijuana. And I just wonder whether Metro could do a little more to oversight some of the bus stops that are known to be something more than just a bus stop.
Yeah, I just experienced this the other day. I was with a group of, with two other seniors, and there was someone there, with their cart and had basically taken over the shelter, and they had to stand and wait, and, they would have liked to have sat as well. I mean, we are very much aware of the homelessness issue on our system, at our stations, and I know that there is talks as to some sort of coalition to help those folks. I don't know all of the details, but we're definitely aware of that, and as employees of Metro, we've been asked to participate, to report things that we've witnessed, to share with Metro so that they can start to tackle this problem. But it is not only a citywide, countywide, I mean, countrywide issue that's affecting all major cities. So we are definitely aware of it, and I think that this coalition that we hope to establish will hopefully come up with some great ideas and help folks. But it is definitely a challenging time, but we are aware of it, and I experienced it myself, and the smoke was there too.
Right.
And I thought, geez, I'm trying to encourage older adults to ride, and this is happening, so it just makes it difficult.
I just want to share, I had an experience several months ago where I was at the bus stop at Santa Monica and Crescent Heights waiting for a bus, and there was a gentleman there, I'll use that term loosely, but who was publicly urinating, and I called the sheriffs and they came. Right. So, people also need to know that is available to them.
All right. Two really quick points. I do want to acknowledge that Metro drivers really have come a long way in the past 12 months with regards to service animals. This is a county license from LA County Department of Animal. It signifies he's a service animal. Before this past year, your drivers would debate me. They actually would pull the bus over and challenge me. So it seems as though you've educated many of your drivers. I want to applaud you with that. I do want to note, with regards to service animals, there are times when you're on a 704 midday and there's only 3 other people. But then there are other times when you are on a 704 and it has 30 more people on it than it really should. It's very difficult for especially an elderly person to come on with a service animal when they don't have the ability to pick that animal up and prevent it from being stepped on. So I don't know whether there's anything that Metro can do to sort of accommodate these rare instances where you have small animals, you have elderly people. Maybe the driver could be a little bit more assertive in asking, the 20-something-year-old to give up that senior or disabled seat in the beginning. But I just want to thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks. I think that we're running short on time. I know that Lily has a short video that she wants to show, and I think we'll do that, and then we will break for one-on-one information in the foyer and some refreshments after the video.
So the video is only about 5 minutes long.